gouge someone in the eye.
I can see you lying back in a satin dress, in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if you find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if you find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Mike's Music Method. Come on in, everybody. Today we are honoring the Canadian legend Gordon Lightfoot, who passed away a few days ago. I haven't done a Gordon Lightfoot song despite many requests. This one, Sundown. Thank you, Josh Matthews, for sponsoring this song. He sponsored it a long time ago, and sorry, Josh, I'm just getting to it. And it seems timely. So, for all of you new to Mike's Music Method, by the way, we do measure by measure, slow run-throughs. All my tabs are free. I got tons of Leonard Cohen, speaking of Canadian songwriters. Cohen, Blaze Foley, Townes Van Zandt. So welcome to the channel. Dive in, get to it. Always down below are timestamps, so learn a little bit. And then at the end, I do slow run-throughs of each section. So learn a section, do some slow run-throughs, practice, jump back, learn it. This is a beginner piece, actually. I don't have to refer to other playlists, which you should go check out, other flat picking and Travis picking playlists that I do have up. Beginner piece, strumming, but what's really cool about it is these novel ways that he's voicing the chords. And I believe there's either a Nashville tune guitar or a 12-string, but we have these pedal points of the B and E ringing out for the E chord and the B chord. And so you get some cool new shapes going on in here. Also, as I mentioned, if you want to sponsor a song like Josh did, go to mikesmusicmethod.com under the Sponsor a Song tab, and you can bump any song up on the list. I want you guys to be directing the content I'm doing. You guys, from all the requests I just get in the comments, it's like over 300 songs long. So I'm overwhelmed, and if you guys want to bump certain songs and have me prioritize them, just chip in a few bucks, and I will try and do that. And one more thing before we begin, my Gordon Lightfoot story. Back in the day, I had an old girlfriend, had a roommate, and we would argue all the time about who was a better Canadian songwriter, Gordon Lightfoot or Leonard Cohen. And I don't want to disrespect the recently dead guy, but come on now. Not even the same league, and because of these arguments, it was my own pride, I admit it, where I wanted nothing to do with Gordon Lightfoot. What's this kid talking about? Better than Leonard Cohen? Ugh. And I was like disgusted by Gordon Lightfoot, basically because of this kid trying to argue with me. So I will dive more into the catalog. Wayne, by the way, who's always pestering me to listen to more Gordon Lightfoot. So I will do that, and put your request down below. That's what I actually wanted to say. The whole story was to get you to request some Lightfoot songs down below that you feel like haven't been tabbed out well or given treatment on YouTube, and I'll break them down for you all. But without further ado, Sundown, Gordon Lightfoot. Hats off, buddy. Thanks for your tunes. Measure 1, capo is on the 2nd fret. Let's start with this weird way to voice an E chord. And the recording is either a 12-string or they got a guitar Nashville tune, which I think means like everything's literally an octave higher. They put on different strings. Because you hear it super twangy and chorus sounding. I think it's a 12-string. Didn't look it up. But instead of just a normal E chord, check out how we're voicing this. We have open, then we're barring 2-2, then we're doing 4. And you can do that 4 with your ring finger. I use my pinky. It's just, I don't know, I could do it either way, but I'm kind of sitting lazily, and the pinky's a little easier for me to stretch to. Most players will probably use the ring finger. So one more time, again, we got open, 2, 2, 4, open, open. We got a big old cool sounding E chord. Instead of doing the G sharp, we're simply doubling up the E. So we have no third, but it gives it this kind of more open, spacey sound. And the picking kind of pattern is all over the place. I wrote it pretty simple. Feel free to experiment with this one because there's multiple guitars and he's changing it up quite a bit. But the intro, we got... So I'm picking the 6th string, then we're doing it down, then it's down, up, down, up. And the accent is on that 3rd beat. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, I'm not really hitting that low string after I pick it. But this is one of these songs where it's not as important because that's not really a melody note. Feel free to hit them all again. So again, pick, down, down, up, pick, down, down, up, down, up. I'm exaggerating that B3, but you want it to be a little bit heavier. Then in measure 2, same exact chord, but we're changing up the pattern here. Different emphasis, a different dynamic emphasis. And again, he's varying this throughout the song, so it might not be exact. There's quite a little bit of wiggle room here. But here, measure 2, pick up. So when I pick that 6th string, I've got a big follow through, and then I'm strumming up. And I failed to mention, he's probably using a pick. I use my fingers. Doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. Pick the 6th, strum up. So follow through, make sure you follow through on that 6, because you're gonna come right back up. You don't want this and then rushing to get an up strum. That defeats the whole purpose. You want this to always be going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So in other words, strum patterns are really just a subtraction of this. My fulcrum, my pendulum is always doing this. So I got pick, up, down, up. And that last up's heavy. Pick, up, down, up. Pick, up, down, up. And then we end the measure after that. It's pick, up, down, up. So pick, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up, pick, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. One more time, 3, 4, pick, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. And I know some of you, this is going to be easy. You got the strumming down. Some of you are going to be tripping up, so I'm going to go really slow. We'll do measure 1 and 2 again. If you've already got it, jump ahead, use a little arrow, double tap if you're on your phone. But we're going to do this a couple more times. Or the timestamps are always down below. Your best friend are the timestamps. I give you measure by measure in those little chapter markers or whatever they call them there. So for measure 1, we have 2 different patterns. I call this like we're daisy chaining each pattern. So make sure you go back, practice each one separate. And here, let's put them together. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get a lot of rhythmic variation, dynamics on different points. One more time, then we'll move on, and I promise it's easier moving forward from here. A lot of repeat material. 3, 4, pick, down, down, up, pick, up, down, up, miss, up, down, up. Yeah. Good news, 3 and 4 is the same as 1 and 2. That takes us to measure 5. And all we're going to do here, we're going to repeat the same rhythm that we had in measure 4, but he's making that E and E7, or at least one of the guitars is. And what I'm doing there is, if you're using your ring finger to do that E chord, I'm going to add my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You know how you do like an E7 by adding your pinky there? We're going to add that same note, it's a D, 3rd fret, 2nd string. So we got open, 2, 2, 4, 3, open. And the pattern is that pick, down, pick, up, down, up, down, up, pick, up, down, up, down, up. And so there's 2 measures of that. That would be 5 and 6. One more time together. 3, 4, pick, up, down, up, down, up, pick, up, down, up, down, up. Measure 7 takes us back to the regular E chord, and but it's always the same rhythm here that we just did. Pick, up, down, up. That's the intro. We're cruising through this song, guys. The hardest part for some of you is just going to be getting that picking pattern down. Again, if it's easier to use a pick, feel free to use a pick. Remember to hold it really loose. So when I brush up, I'm letting there be resistance. I'm not holding the string totally stiff. It's a terrible beginner mistake. Let it be loose. You're doing a paintbrush. You're not holding a blunt instrument to gouge someone in the eye. Okay? It's a paintbrush. You're delicate. And I promise you'll like very rarely break strings if you do that. Something I noticed, I remember always breaking strings when I was a beginner, and now like I almost never break a string. And I treat my guitars pretty terribly too. Some of them I like literally just throw in the back of my car. Not this one. My cheaper ones. And I still won't break a string like I did when I was a kid. And I think that's because I know how to now like play lighter, hold the string, pick a little lighter, So that's a good pointer for you. But anyways, let's do the verse. A lot of simple stuff here. So we are in measure 9. It's that E chord again. That's all been the same so far. And then check this out. This chord looks the same in measure 11, but it's not. It's a B chord. So what we're doing here, instead of 2, 2, 4, we now move that ring finger up, and we're going to have 2, 4, 4, but then still open, open. So it's just like a B chord, right? We play the B major like that. But again, he's letting these top 2 strings, the B and the E, ring open. So it technically makes it, what, a B11 or whatever? Right? Yeah, that's an 11. And that's it. And he does a similar strum pattern, but he's not always really picking the first one. Sometimes he's strumming the first beat of each measure. Just does it once, that's it. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. You got it? And then measure 12, we go back to the E. Pick down, up, pick up, down, up, down, up. And that takes us, I'll put the lyrics in, then this is going to make a lot more sense when you have the context. Then it's just straight up A chord. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up. And it's just a normal A. You can do it this way if it's easier. Down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Then same thing on a D chord. Then he ends on the E. And then we're measure 17. He does the E again with a pick up, down, up. Then back to the A. To the D. Back to the E. And that's it. Guys, we did the entire song. Boom. You're a champion. Let's put the lyrics in place so you guys can follow along. When I sing a song, guys, I always just do basic down strums to make sure I can sing it and I have at least the chord changes down before I get lost in a complicated picking pattern. This would be one of these. So let's start in measure 9 on the verse and just feel free to do down strums with me here. And there's a pickup beat. I can see you lying back in a satin dress. And then the B, in a room where you do what you don't confess. So far that was just E, one measure B, back to the E. Then we stay on that E for the sundown. Hey, you better take care to the D. If I find you've been creeping round, back to the E, my back stairs. And then again, sundown, you better take care. If I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. I never realized how ridiculous these lyrics were. And then from there, you're just trying to roughly get that strum pattern in there. And again, guys, there's 2 guitars, and they're always kind of like hitting things differently, and they're being really loose with it because they all know how to play guitar well. So you don't have to obsess over my tab. On the finger picking ones, I do want you to obsess, but feel free to kind of vary up the strum pattern a little bit. Donation pitch, guys. If you are getting value from this channel, please give some back. If you're old here, you know what I'm about to say. You know the spiel. You can jump ahead. But the number one reason people don't donate to charities or to anything is because they are not asked. That's actual research there. So I'm asking you guys to please contribute. None of my stuff is behind a paywall. All the tabs are free. So anyone hard on times, hard on luck, who just can't afford it, maybe people who are even so young that they don't even have jobs yet, in school, whatever, all this content is free for them to get an awesome education. So when you guys donate, you are actually buying me time to keep it free for everybody else. And that's the whole idea here. What is this worth to you? You guys name the amount. Maybe kind of the honor system that I'm asking is every time you learn a song, throw in $10. That is cheap. That's dirt cheap to learn a song. This would take maybe like 5 or 6, private guitar lessons for some of the more complicated finger picking ones. And here it is, free if you want it to be. But for those of you who can't afford it, I'm asking, please contribute. Monthly support is the most appreciated. $40 a month, $20 a month, $10 a month, $5, whatever you can contribute. Consider the value for value. What if Mike's music method were to disappear from the internet, tomorrow? You might go, oh, dang, I could have given him like $50 a month to keep this stuff going. I know he's educating a lot of people, or even $5 a month, whatever. You guys get the idea. It's the value for value. Not only are you helping keep my lights on, but you're buying me time to make these awesome videos free for anyone with the internet out there. I feel like it's a really noble, awesome cause, and I feel like I'm bringing some of the best tabs out there on the internet. So that's it. Please consider. All the links are in the video description below, or just go to mikesmusicmethod.com under the donate section. All sorts of different ways you can support, including my P.O. box. And anyone who donates via the P.O. box, you'll get a Molaro family Christmas card at the end of the year with my family smiling faces. All right, onward with Sundown. Slow run-throughs. Let's start from the beginning, and we'll just do the whole intro here. 2, 3, 4. Slow run of the verse from measure 9, 2, 3, 4. To the B chord. Then the A, D, back to E, back to the A. The whole thing. That's the whole thing. It just loops. But let's take it from measure 9 one more time. I will try to put the words in. It's hard to do it slow. I'll try my best. 2, 3. Or there's a pickup. Sorry. I can see you lying back in a satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care. If you find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care. If you find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Yep. Gouge someone in the eye.